ISB interrogation recording Epsilon 37 Gamma Y. Security clearance ultra secret. Subject is Tantin Gelster, found aboard an escape pod in the edge of the unknown region, several thousand kilometers from the wreckage of Imperial research vessel the Renaissance. Previously believed lost. Interview conducted by ISB Commander Vinka Kesik. Playback begins now. Recording has started. Officer Braven, prepare 15 cc's of tetrahydropenylene and secure an ITO unit for operation.
Wait. Cool your thrusters there, champs. No need to break out the toys yet. I'll tell you everything. Everybody's got to know about this. Look, I'll admit it, okay? We were on the Renaissance to rob her. It's what we do. Well, what we did. Normally we wouldn't go anywhere near a vessel as big as her, let alone an Imperial one. Too much risk, too well armoured. We couldn't have handled a crew that big. But she was just floating dead out there. Not responding to hails, no emergency transmissions, nothing. Our usual work is pretty smash and grab. Got some high stakes to it, so a simple salvage job seemed pretty sweet, and a ship that came out of the core worlds was sure going to have a lot more worth taking than the caravans we used to raiding. Yeah, we thought it was going to be pretty easy. There were 7 of us. Me, Kuna, Garrow and Montam, all humans. Then there was the Rhodians, Ratch and Trengo, brothers. And last we had Shulk, the Gamorrean we kept around for muscle. We hooked up to the Renaissance with an umbilical and sliced our way through the airlock. Should have turned around then. The crew was cut to ribbons, like a pack of Wookiees had torn them apart. Everywhere you looked, you'd find pieces of them. Freaked us all out, but nothing in the ship was damaged. Not really. All systems were still functional. There were a bunch of blaster burns on the walls and some holes in the floor we couldn't explain, but there was too much good loot in there just to leave. We figured a bigger pirate crew or maybe rebels had taken them out, and salvaging ship parts just wasn't worth their time. So we stayed. They just kept looking for whatever was worth the most credits. We split out into 2 groups. Kuna, Garrow, Montam and Trengo all went to engineering to start stripping down the engines. Me, Ratch and the Gamorrean went off looking for anything else. Weapons, credits, supplies. Who knows what a ship like that is carrying? Soon realised it must have been a sort of science vessel. We found labs full of special equipment and druck that we didn't even know what it was. In one of them, the transparasteel was broken, cracked, like someone had tried breaking in. If someone else wants it, maybe we want it. Ratch is a dab hand at slicing and he got us inside no problem. But all we found inside was, I don't know what you call them, pods, eggs, horrible carking things they were. Wish I'd burnt them all now, but I didn't. I made Shulk pick one up, take it to the rest of them. Maybe they knew what it was. Poor bugger didn't even get 2 steps out before the egg opened up and something grabbed onto his face. I nearly shot him. Just to kill whatever it was that was hanging on to him. Ratch stopped me. We grabbed him by the ankles and dragged him back to the umbilical. That thing stuck on his face the whole way. You ever seen a Crickner? It was like one of them, but worse. Ratch called his brother and told him to get back, that something was wrong. But something else was happening. All we heard out of the comms was screaming, and then we heard it approaching us. We thought we'd been caught. We could hear blasters going off, getting closer and closer. We opened up the airlock and got ready to leave before we saw them. Trengo and Montram coming round the corner, shooting behind them, their eyes wild, bloodshot. They begged us to hold the door, but then we saw it. A huge black creature, tall as a Wookiee. It was holding up Kuna, but only half of her. She was just a torso, guts trailing on the floor. One of the blasters hit it, but it just didn't care. I saw green blood coming out of it, and the blood burned the floor right through. That's what made the holes. Ratch and I ran, closed the airlock behind us. Shulk was still on the floor. He wasn't inside all the way. Dawes cut his legs clean off. We didn't know what we were doing or where we were going. We just got in the cockpit and left. I don't know how long we were flying. Could have been hours or days. We assumed everyone was dead, including Shulk, until we heard him screaming. Me and Ratch went back to the airlock. He was on the floor. There was blood everywhere. But he was awake. The thing had fallen off his face. He was writhing around, squealing. We thought it must have been the pain of the door closing on him. Ratch tried to give him something to help, but he kept making that noise. It only stopped when his chest burst open. There was so much blood, so much screaming. I don't know who it was, me or Ratch or Shulk or all of us. All I know was the thing that came out of him was the same thing that killed the others. It was smaller, but it looked the same. That long head and the teeth. That Krickner thing had put it inside Shulk and it tore its way out of him. I wasn't dying. You understand me? I wasn't gonna die there. So I got in the escape pod. Ratch tried to get in too, but I wasn't going to die, so I shot him. I didn't kill him. If that thing came, I needed time to get away. So I shot him in his knee. And I got in the escape pod. And I left him there for it. You've got to tell people about this. They're somewhere out there still. You need to find those ships and destroy them. Make sure everything on board is dead.
Thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Gelster. The ISB values your honesty and thanks you for your commitments to the Empire's safety. We'll need to go over this again to make sure we have every detail of your experience. Braven, is that ITO unit ready?
Wait, no. I told you everything. No, wait, no.